Go ahead. Go ahead.
So yeah, we'll pick up right where we left off. You got the rocket car there. You've got the remains of sedan. You've got a severely wounded German in the sedan who's just kind of there gurgling a bit in need of medical attention. You've got a dead German and a Martian warrior in full battle armor standing over.
And they say, "Why the long face?" Dargan, grab that man. We're going to take him back to the Solar Star for questioning. And maybe I'll let you have more fun.
Oh, not the dead one. Okay, good. Goes in, basically grabs somebody. I'm trying to show you, and I can't because there's no video. See, like this, Bryce. He grabs him by just like the collar, or like where the grabs to the front of the shirt. Picks him up that way. I don't know how he's bleeding and how he's wounded, but I imagine it's not enjoyable. But just picks him up, lifts him out of the car that way, and to take him to our hover car.
Well, it's kind of because it's a cleaving axe wound. So yeah, it's kind of essentially like you buried his axe, buried your axe in his shoulder, essentially.
Okay.
So you kind of got like the gun the hand and arm that would have been holding the gun is now, and it's still attached. It's not like you took it clean off, but it's you've kind of gone through all the tendons and the collarbone and stuff there, kind of into the shoulder joint.
You won't ever hold a gun again. Man.
Oh, darn, I have no medical skills.
I was just thinking about that, actually.
I'm just picking them and just like bring them along.
Does anybody have medical skills on our ship? Oh, well, okay, we have the ship's doctor.
Yeah. Well, a medic. We call him a doctor.
Yeah.
Kama's got one medicine. All right, so yeah, you've got enough strength and because your strength is 7, so yeah, you've got enough strength there where you can hoist him out pretty easily there.
Do I know enough? Because I do have one medicine. I'm not a doctor by it, but do I know enough he's going to not survive to be questioned by the captain if we just carry him this way? Or do I need to know enough I need to like wrap the wound, tourniquet or something?
You know enough that his wound is not immediately fatal.
Okay.
And he is bleeding, and without medical attention, he will bleed out or succumb succumb to what the humans call shock.
If it looks like he will survive to the ship, never mind.
He'll survive. He'll survive to the ship, provided you guys don't take a detour or go watch a movie at a drive-in or something like that.
Then that's the captain said he wanted a question on the ship. That's sufficient for him to fulfill that request. I don't care about his comfort, so never mind. I'd pick him up and follow onto the hover car.
All right, so on the hover car now, we've got Cora, the captain, Thargan, and most of a German.
Are you planning on reanimating him or what?
He's still alive.
He will survive until the ship.
We'll take him. We'll take him to the dock, and then
if we don't stop to get any food on the way.
Wait, we have a doctor?
When
did we get a doctor?
A doctor-ish.
Cookie.
I know, right? When do we get a doctor? I don't know. Has the doctor been there all along? No.
Has he always been on the ship?
Doctors in our games are kind of...
That's a loose term.
More like suggestions more than hard rules. Yes.
Look, they don't believe in the Hippocratic Oath, all right?
No, none of them.
Nope.
No. And I thought it was just me, but no. It's every person who plays a doctor in our group. They're a little violent.
Yeah, it's It's like, oh, I'm a doctor, but I'm not in that that whole, do no harm kind of a thing.
Yeah. No.
All right, so you guys are back on the rocket car. I assume that you're making your way back to the Solar Star, or
Yep, direct course.
so you guys swing out of there. As you do, you see a cop car kind of come screeching around the corner.
Imagine this report.
Whoops, gotta go.
It's like, oh, try hard to win. All right, so while you guys make it back to the Solar Star, we smash cut to the Prince.
Oh boy.
So you are in the. You are going to make a telepathy roll.
Yes, the target is going to make an ingenuity plus resolve, and I'm going to make an ingenuity plus resolve +2.
+2.
And I am looking for, what am I looking for again? Because I don't remember.
Well, it was revealed from Mary that she was lured in by an ad placed for something called the Institute of Paranormal Studies.
Yeah.
So you were going to scan the nation to look for pockets of increased psychic activity to attempt to see how widespread the infiltration is.
Okay.
And kind of get a kind of draw a bead on where they are so they can be dealt with accordingly.
Okay, pockets of psychic activity and location.
Yes.
All right. So let's roll it.
Make that roll.
And I gotta spend.
You gotta spend a story point in order to activate your telepathy.
All right. So I've spent a story point, and then I'm gonna run to Chicago and give someone the Heimlich. It's because I like you. I want to make sure you're safe. Okay, never mind. Ooh. So I made a lovely roll. Can you see that?
Nice.
Yes, lovely roll. So that is a 13. Wait, that's not right. That is a lot.
13. It's 13 plus your ingenuity plus your resolve.
That's a 20. Plus my ingenuity plus resolve, 23.
That's a nice little roll there you got there. So you're in a nice quiet part of the ship. The ship itself is quiet. It is parked.
The Nazi Psy-Corps. Oh. Guess I'm about to find out about him, actually.
They're led by a guy named Bester. I don't know.
Oh, he's a murderous bastard. Yeah.
So yeah, you reach out your mind, and I don't know how often you've tried to read an entire nation. I'll leave that up to what your characters of.
It's happened on
History.
Mars for a time or two, depending on what I was up to. Man, these things happen.
This is going to be an experience because now it's not Martian minds; it's a whole country full of human minds and all that they go through. So Imagine it's almost like when Professor X fires up Cerebro, right? Where you just kind of feeling everybody all at once, and it's just a tremendous amount of noise of people going about their days, yada yada yada. But, and dice roll being what it is, it's not overwhelming, and you're able to filter out the background nonsense reasonably quickly. Kind of pare it down to, the important data.
Mm-hmm.
And as you swing out into the country, you do notice the GM looking at his notes.
I do know you're looking at his notes.
You read so well, you actually see the GM.
You've broken the fourth wall. I actually did that to a player in a game. It was fun.
I've got to
This person in Minnesota is controlling our fate. I find it disturbing.
It was some. He'd suffered some kind of mental break, so he was shifting between his character and then like a version of himself with a role-playing game group.
It's very disturbing. I'm not real.
And with the bleed over, and I started making rolls to see if you could figure out which was real and what was not. Those are good times.
That's kind of funny.
So yeah, you filter everything out, and by and large, humans aren't really known for their psychic abilities. It's not necessarily a big trait there. So this really kind of stands out in that.
Right. Basically, what I'm doing is I'm looking for psychic ability where there should be none.
Yes.
And so it should make it relatively easy to search through the crowd.
Yes.
So.
Yes. So you find not surprisingly, you find a hotspot here in New York City, actually in Manhattan.
All right.
What?
Never mind. Go ahead.
As you kind of swing further, you find another one in Chicago. You find another one in Denver. Then you find another one in San Francisco. And then one last one in Dallas.
All right.
And since you got 23 and they didn't know they were going to be all psychically probed at the same time, so they really didn't get much of a chance to kind of put up any kind of psychic defenses for such a things. From all of them, you get the definite, as you kind of encounter them and move on, you get the definite feel of ill intent. Their purposes are undeniably evil.
Okay. Are they aware of me?
No, not with that dice roll.
Okay. All right. So, I come out of my trance, and I'm actually alarmed. I gotta hand it to them. I didn't expect them to be quite that well, frankly, that well dispersed across the country. Do I have a sense of numbers?
Yes. The Manhattan one was the biggest. You've got an idea of about 15 people there.
Okay.
Chicago, you got 10 to 12. The others were 7 and 8 and 8 for Denver, San Francisco, and Dallas, respectively.
All right. Okay. Let's see. 3, 4, roughly 50 people throughout the country. All right. I make my way to the captain's quarters. I'm actually. Been a while since I've done that. I'm a little unsteady.
All right.
But I make my way along, just kind of trailing my fingers along the wall, in case I need the wall. Just gonna prop myself, yeah, something like that. And I make my way to the captain's quarters, or probably should ask where the captain is. I'd have to walk all the way to someplace else in the ship. I get to the captain's quarters because I've already started going there, and I knock.
There is no answer.
All right. I go to the ship's comms and I go, calling Captain Klein. This is, and it's unusually subdued. This is Prince Astyanax.
As the comms in the hover ship, the hover car, linked into those ships.
I want to say, yeah, of course. So, yeah, the subdued voice of the prince comes over your comm system.
Prince, is that you?
Yes, Captain, it is me. I have completed my scan. It is quite worrying. Do you wish to wait until you get here, or I can give you the particulars now?
We'll wait till we get here. We have a special guest we're bringing back as well.
Oh, very good. Well, I will await your arrival. I presume that the person will be interred in our brig.
After a stop at the med bay, yeah.
Yes, bargain. Okay then. Very well, Captain. I will meet you when you get here. I will await you at your quarters then, or at your ready room. You probably have one of those.
Yeah.
Sure, there's a conference room of some sort. There always is.
Yeah.
I will await you in the ready room.
Very good.
Astyanax out.
Yeah. So when the comm goes out, Captain goes back looking at Thargan. No. When the batter's out, he just goes sits down. He's not dead. He's not taken out.
Then why did they call him out? Did they get to strike the pitcher at that time? He already has the weapon.
No, that's not to hit the other player. It's to hit the ball.
Strike him down.
What is the strategic value of the ball?
The ball is the whole object of the game.
Kind of is, really. Wow.
Okay.
What is the ball a euphemism for? I mean, footballs, basketballs, baseballs. Okay, hockey pucks don't count, but what is the action? What are they standing in for? You know, now I have this in my head, and I'll never get rid of it.
Thargan seems actually contemplating the meaning of the ball and being the object, and yeah.
You know, Thargan, I think you're more of a football guy.
Do they have weapons in that game also?
No, they don't have weapons.
Huh.
They're allowed to hit each other, though.
Oh, really?
Yes.
We must watch this football.
Why, next time we're in town, maybe I'll take you to a game.
I appreciate that, Captain. Maybe this can qualify as a adequate fun.
Yes, that's it. It's fun to watch.
If there are people hitting, maybe it would suffice.
Yeah. The captain thinks, do I tell him about boxing?
Oh, don't bring him to a wrestling match. Well, in 1920, they probably didn't have. Yeah, they didn't have entertainment wrestling.
Oh, wrestling's gone back a long time. They probably had it.
Oh, yeah, they should have wrestling back.
Well, I mean, they would have had more like Olympic style wrestling, not like WWF.
Oh, no, they had show style wrestling back then.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
So we'll just wait to get back to the ship and take our guest in for his appointment to the doctor.
Oh yeah, so yeah, you guys make it back to the ship without incident. Bring the rocket car in for a landing.
Okay. Thurgan, why don't you take our guest to the med bay?
Very well. Pick him up again, and it's almost like carrying a suitcase. He's just holding him down, arm relaxed. The guy's feet is dragging, probably a trail of blood as they go.
Thargan makes a mess.
Yep.
As he's leaving. Where to next?
All right. Well, we're taking him to med bay. You get a cookie to look at him.
Cookie's looking at him. Cookie looks at the journal's like, what the hell did you guys do to this man?
He did not surrender immediately.
You did this?
I did give him a warning. I thought it was only appropriate to give him that mercy, being human.
Yeah, that's great. Look, I'm gonna need to. Like, I assume we don't want this guy to die. That's why you brought him here.
Yeah.
Captain wants to speak to him. Then I may get to kill him.
Thanks for making my work all for naught there, Thargan. Well, look, give me some space here. It's gonna take a bit.
Yes.
So Cookie goes to work on the German. Of course, by this point is not terribly conscious. Yeah. He's actually doing pretty well putting him back together. Gets out the suture kit and the bandages and all of that stuff there, and it's it all nice. I was like, I don't know if he's ever going to use that shoulder again. He's going to need a surgeon or something for that, but he's got got an IV with a blood transfusion going. And he'll live. It's going to be a bit before he regains consciousness, but he'll live.
Okay, as long as we can ask him questions.
Yeah, and once he wakes up, yeah, he should be. There's nothing to keep him there. I mean, you didn't hit him in the head or anything like that. I don't know how friendly he's going to be, given you damn near took his arm off there, Thargan, but
He'll have respect then for next time.
He's a warrior. He would understand the injury.
I think Cookie kind of looks at you weird because like, right, respect. Oh, okay, that's one way of looking at it. Well, look, I'll let you know when he comes too. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
I guess I will find the prince. Hey, Jimmy.
Yes, Captain.
Tell the prince I'll be in the mess hall.
You got it, Captain. So you're waiting outside of the captain's quarters there, Prince?
No, I'm actually in the ready room.
Oh, you're in the ready room.
Yeah.
Suddenly, Jimmy is in the ready room. Hey, Prince. Captain says I'll meet you in the mess hall.
Thank you, Jimmy.
You got it. Anything else?
For me? No, I have all that I require at this time. But thank you.
Jimmy makes a good death ostrich.
He does.
It sounds delicious. Perhaps later. So anyway, I stand up and I've had time to recover a bit. And I make my way to the mess hall. I enter. And once I find the captain, I go over and I sit myself. I sit myself 90 degrees out from wherever the captain is sitting. So, to the captain's left or to the captain's right. Either way, it doesn't matter. Unless you're sitting in the middle of the bench, in which case I just sit across from you.
All right.
So, and unless you have specific questions, I'll just get right to it.
Sure.
My scan of the country of the United States has turned up approximately 50 psychically capable individuals, all of whom seem to demonstrate Nazi allegiance, and they are scattered across the country in 5 specific pockets, but they have covered the entire country more or less. Southern, northern, east, west, and central. Specifically, the greatest concentration is in Manhattan. Approximately 15 people. Chicago, somewhere between 10 and 12. It's a little sketchy there. I would assume 12 and go from there. Denver didn't have so many, and they had approximately 7. San Francisco and Dallas both had around 8. I was able to perform the scan in such a way as to not be detected. they are rather malevolent.
Yeah, I we encountered some Nazis bringing Mary back to our house.
Hmm.
You'd be proud of Thargan. He defeated one.
Is Thargan here? Where's Thargan? Is Thargan here, or is he?
I would have followed the captain out of the med bay probably, and probably yeah, I'm there.
Okay, all right. I'm like, I turned to Thargan. Excellent job, Thargan.
Thank you. I hope I did as you wished, Prince.
Of course, you assisted the captain. And you acquitted yourself well in battle.
With glory.
The prince is unusually subdued. He never thanks Thargan, ever.
No.
And that kind of disturbs the captain.
Um,
So what's
I'm
wrong?
interested in knowing what Thargan thinks about the way his prince is acting.
You're right.
That's what I'm kind of intrigued by as as a game master who has,
The captain kind of looks. He's not using a lot of fancy words, and he's not complimenting me. I look over to Thargan to see what his. If I can tell any facial.
It's hard to read a Martian's expressions, but if there is one, you would see a look of suspicion and concern as he looks on his prince.
do you have any further questions for me, Captain?
No, but I think Thargan might.
I raised an eyebrow. Why with Thargan up? I look at Thargan.
My prince, you look unwell.
Okay, the prince kind of sits up a little taller and leans back slightly. Goes, Thargan, however do you mean I am unwell? I assure you, I have never been better. I am always well, if not extraordinary, as is the captain. Alas, I believe I have some matters of some concern that I must attend to. Please continue with her. Thargan, do a good job killing things for the captain. He smiles and glides out of the room.
I think when you start to glide, Thargan sidesteps, almost obstructing your way, but not quite.
I'm gonna pretend the prince is gonna pretend he didn't even see it.
I think if you keep pushing, he's gonna hold his arm out, almost that kind of not look at the prince, but hold an arm out to block his way, but almost apologetically.
Okay.
I don't know if we need to, forgive me, my prince. But
he looks at your arm as if it is a foreign thing.
my prince, I am charged with protecting you with my life, and something seems wrong. How can I be certain that you are, in fact, you?
Your friendly local GM would also like to point out your minor obsession with order.
Oh, right. Oh, I forgot. Oh, my. Okay. And his change of behavior is definitely a change in order. Okay. Yeah. This change in your behavior is abnormal and doesn't seem appropriate for one of your stature.
Oh, I see. You wish to have a conversation with me about the appropriateness of my behavior in the mess hall in front of everyone. Very well then, Thagen. Allow me to clarify my position in those things which concern me and thus you. If I may be so indelicate, humans, unfortunately, are somewhat, what is the word I wish to use? Numerous. Very numerous. And they are, that's the other word I wish to use. They are delicate. That is a good word to use, delicate, particularly insofar as matters concerning any kind of psychic ability. The idea that a human can acquire psychic abilities is, while not precisely off-putting, is a tad distressing. The idea that the only humans who've managed to do it are the most vigorously bloodthirsty, self-absorbed monsters that the human race has ever created is disturbing in the extreme. And furthermore, it occurs to me that there is no way to free Mars from the tyranny which it currently lives under without said human race. That said human race is in distinct danger of actually being overthrown by bloodthirsty monsters. I am, having explored the minds of some 350 million humans, I am tired. Move your arm.
I think things are, yeah. Just okay. I think of that something in his expression like sets, and he nods, drops his arm, and sidesteps out of your way.
Right.
As you wish, Prince.
He doesn't move for a moment. He's clearly thinking about something. He gives you a hard look and then a hard nod, and then he leaves the room.
You proved to his mind that you were the prince.
I have to imagine that tracing through so many minds would be hard psychically on anybody.
Oh yeah.
From a gaming perspective, I mean from a macro perspective, I would imagine it would be strenuous. And if you are looking for the worst aspects of a particular set of minds, that would probably be rather exhausting. So he has had a long day.
As that player, I totally understand.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm thinking. Bryce, you can tell me if that makes sense.
Oh no, it makes sense. Makes perfect sense.
Okay. And unfortunately, he's actually got a long, he's got the length and breadth of a good cross section of the human race today. He's like, too much.
Oh yeah, there's all sorts of
everything you imagine. And it's bad because of all the things that he had to look for, he may have encountered a whole bunch of other things that were probably equally repellent. And had to ignore those things to focus on this other thing. So that's kind of the way I'm thinking about it. It's like,
yeah, especially for the ordered lives of Martians, right? Because you've got the caste system, and everyone knows their place. We all know our roles. We all do our things, and this. Then you just get a couple 100 million, just everything everywhere kind of a thing there. Yeah.
Yep. So that is what I. Oh, and I also, as I'm walking out, I do mention kind of just over my shoulder. I did prepare a detailed report on my findings and observations, expected levels of resistance, and possible strategies that might be utilized in handling these pockets of psychic Nazis as well, that for you to peruse at your leisure, Captain.
Why, thank you, Prince.
All right.
Can make a copy and give it to the senator when we meet.
Ace stops, comes back in. Has this meeting been scheduled yet, Captain?
It hasn't been scheduled yet. We're waiting to hear from the senator's office.
His office is in your capital in Washington?
No, we're meeting here in New York.
He is a high-ranking governmental official. Allow me to examine him before we interact directly with him and before you give him anything.
Now, Prince, I've known him for a long time. He's on the level.
He might be compromised. You would have no way of knowing it.
I'll let you know.
He sighs. You can say he wants to argue with you. He's like, I just don't have the energy. He just turns around and walks away. Just
Well, that went well.
Fritz goes to his quarters and lies down. He rests.
Well, Captain's got some waiting to do. He's got waiting to hear from the senator, waiting for Cookie to get his Nazi back together for
Stitching the Nazi back together so that we can.
so maybe Dark can take him apart again. Hey, Jimmy,
Yes, Captain.
is the Dodgers game on TV now?
Yes, it is, Captain.
Dargan, come join me.
Yes, Captain.
Hey, Jimmy, you still got some of that death ostrich meat?
Yes, there's still some sticky bird meat left.
Why don't you get us a couple beers and a couple dogs so we can enjoy the game? We can use the death ostrich meat for the dogs.
You got it, Captain.
And my father's like, wait, it's not a dog.
What dog will you be eating? What manner of dog is this?
I thought you wanted the ostrich, not the dog.
Yeah,
Eat the dog.
a hot dog.
I swear, Captain, I saw dogs on Earth. They're very small creatures. They wouldn't offer much meat.
No. There's a delicacy involved in baseball called a hot dog.
Well, I imagine, yes, it is cooked, but
But it's not really a dog. It just don't even know why they call it that. They just do.
okay. And I thought the Earth and naming conventions are very strange.
Yes, they are.
Curiously, the German naming conventions are very literal. They're very easy, actually, to understand.
Oh, yeah.
Ironically, what's they were fighting against? Have the best naming conventions for foreigners.
In Europe, you get like what they did. Like Shoemaker became Schumacher.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, so while Thargan and the captain settle in to watch the game, we will smash cut to where are you at, Cora?
Maybe 4 minutes. somewhere? No.
No, we're waiting. We're in wait mode.
Probably in my bunk minding my own damn business. I had enough of y'all this week.
I didn't do any of this.
Just hanging out and catching up on my sleep and reading.
All right, so you're in your bunk. There is a knock at your door.
For fuck's sake. Who is it?
Hey, Corey, it's Cookie. You got a second?
Yeah, what's up?
So Cookie's looks a bit concerned. He's like, hey, is the captain okay?
For asking me that. I don't, honestly, I have no clue.
What was that? I lost part of that.
She just kind of laughs. She says, honestly, I really couldn't tell you. I don't know. Why?
I just had kind of an odd exchange with him. They brought that Nazi that Tharkin did a number on there, and I was commenting on the severities of the injuries, and kind of giving Tharkin a hard time for it, and I kind of made some kind of remark about now that the Nazi will know respect, and it kind of sounded like something that the Martians would say.
I really couldn't tell you. I don't know. I know he's been drinking a lot more than usual, or it seems like he has anyway. But I don't know if that can account for his behavior.
I mean, it can have its effect. But I don't know. So it was just odd. I was just this. I mean, not that I've spent a lot of time out in the field necessarily, but it's kind of feels like an odd thing there. We're going to just bring people back in pieces and whatnot.
Yeah, I can understand that, but I mean, maybe he's just always had a deep-seated hatred for Nazis. Oh, well, who doesn't really? But
Well, yeah, but it's
maybe more so than others. I don't know.
It's kind of that whole thing of separating us from them, kind of a thing.
And where it can get dangerous.
Yeah, like I said, I just thought I'd see if you knew anything.
Well, if you notice anything even more out of the ordinary, let me know. I'll kind of keep an eye on him myself.
All right, well, I appreciate it.
Well, thanks for bringing it to me, at least.
Anytime. Thanks for hearing me out.
Anytime. And sometimes it's hard to go to the captain directly with things, so you can always come talk to me if you need to.
Well, yeah, someone will listen anyway. And those Martians are certainly handy to fight, but there's some interesting viewpoints on things.
That's true. All right. Well, I appreciate it, and I'll keep an eye on things. And like I said, if you have any other concerns about it, come see me.
Will do. I better go check on my patient and make sure he hasn't found a way to take Romani hostage or something.
Just keep Romani away from him. He'll be fine.
I don't know if Romani's been out of his quarters for a bit. So I gotta make sure he didn't get taken hostage in there or something, or kidnapped or something.
Or get lost. Yes.
Which I guess we should check on him, make sure he's still in his quarters.
Well, we had him triple locked up to the last time.
Oh, good. Well, you never know. He's weird and finds his way out of anything, really, almost. But
He is Romani.
yeah.
It's impressive when you look at it.
So I was checking out the ventilation system in my room, and I wound up in engineering. I'm not sure how it happened. Oh my
It's like,
god,
I don't know how I ended up in the nuclear pile. That's just weird.
so weird.
And she's crying. You should be fucking crying. I'm sorry. Talking about the Turpin parents who abused their kids. They were sentenced for 25 years to life.
Oh yeah, those bastards had that coming.
Yeah.
She's crying. Well, yeah, bitch. I cry too, because you know what they're going to do to you in prison.
All right.
Yeah, that does not last very long there.
Nope.
All right, so Cookie will shuffle on out of the out of his quarters there, and or out of your quarters there. Well, unless there's anything else we need to do here, we'll advance time a little bit.
Okay.
And you get a message over the intercom there, Captain, from Cookie. It's like, hey, Captain, that Nazi is awake.
That Nazi.
All right. Transfer him to the cell.
You got it.
So did you like that, Thargan? Did you understand it?
I'm still confused of why the game allows you for theft. I thought that was frowned upon in your society. But it seems like everyone keeps trying to steal.
Well, yeah, that's the way of advancing your runner. It's not really stealing. It's just
And it's
It's
still... Go ahead.
it's a athletic contest. The base runner runs and sees if he can beat the throw from the catcher. It's kind of like combat.
Right, but it's still also, why do they, when they have such a great weapon, have a club ready at hand, they don't use it, or they throw it away? They should keep it when they go to the bases. I think it would be very useful when they're approaching the base to strike the person before getting on the base.
That would
That
work.
would guarantee their arrival safely.
The rules don't allow for that, Thargan.
It seems like a waste, though. I guess it was intriguing. There's a lot of running. I'm eager to see this football you mentioned, since there's more striking of players in that.
Yeah, yes. There is more physical contact in football.
Yes.
Well, should we get the prince to go pay a visit to our guest?
I'm sure he would be pleased to interview the new Nazi as well. Yes.
Well, why don't you go get him and I'll meet you there.
As you say, Captain. Goes and makes his way to the prince's room, knocks, and then enters. I guess I think that's a normal protocol.
Okay. The prince is reclining on his bed. When you enter, he rises.
I bow, maybe a little bit lower than normal.
Yes, Thargan.
My prince, the Nazi wounded prisoner has awoken, and the captain wishes to interview him and thought you might enjoy being present as well.
How thoughtful of the captain. I have frequently said the captain always considers the crew.
Yes, the captain seems to be behaving in such a Martian-like fashion, more so in recent days.
I know, I'm very proud of him. We will have to make a song for him. I stand up and I gracefully exit the room and head towards the I guess the brig, actually.
And I follow.
What else have you been doing with the captain? And I'm making small talk with Thargan, as it were. Now then, I am kind of curious, like, because I haven't seen much of Thargan at all.
Right. I've been watching him like you told me to, and protecting him and doing as he wished. He's been interested in having me to discover fun. Through the process of this, he has showed me one of their combat recreations called baseball.
Yes, I believe I read about this.
It doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. They guard themselves with weapons. They throw weapons at another.
I know, and I do not understand why they don't simply just use the weapon on the person when they get to the base.
Exactly. I proposed that question to myself, to the captain. He said it was not allowed.
I know, the rules make no sense.
He promises to show me another game that the people apparently actually strike each other during the game. So I'm eager to see what this game is like.
I give him a pitying look. It depends on which one. There are a couple that they use this particular tactic. One involves excessive levels of padding with very little in the way of actual injury. And there's another version of a game that is very similar. However, there is no padding and it is far more entertaining.
Hopefully the one without the armor will be the one I get to see. We shall see.
Yes, yes, perhaps.
I can't wait to if they ever show Thargan hockey. Because the fights that break out, I will think is part of the game.
It will. The search for a sport for Thargan will be over.
Yes.
Until he
Until
he discovers MMA.
Remove the armor and beat your opponent senseless. Yes.
Yes.
And
Until
then you are banished for 5 minutes.
Why are they stopping him? That was so cool.
Because he was naughty.
But he won. Why is he sitting in that little box?
I know. Why is he being punished? Oh, wait, that is the circle for the winner of the
Yes, it's the circle for the winner. That is the winner.
I see. It's a place of honor.
Earned her rest.
Yeah, hockey through Thargan's interpretation will be very interesting.
In the old Nintendo Blades of Steel game, when you got in a fight, the loser would be dragged off, and you'd get the power of play if you won the fight.
You fight until you won, and then the loser gets dragged away. I like that. I like that. Okay, so yeah, I make my way to the brig. The captain's there, right?
Yep.
Huh?
Yeah.
I arrive. Captain.
Prince.
So, is our guest willing to talk?
I don't know. Let's find out.
I look at the captain and I, shall I?
Oh, by all means.
All right. I turn to the individual. I'm like, so, you are, as I understand it, a Nazi. If not Nazi, then at least a Nazi sympathizer.
He just stares at you.
Ah, I see. You're a silent Nazi. It's a pity. Well, it'd be a far better place if you stayed silent more often. However, unfortunately, we require you to share information with us. So, we'll start this off gently. If you work with me, your suffering will be minimal.
His eyes kind of meet yours. Like, I am prepared to suffer for my country.
Good. That is very good. Because I want to know that you are committed to this process. Process is deep, and I do not wish to think that you are not getting everything that you can possibly get out of this experience that we are about to share. I smile, one of those smiles that goes no further than the mouth.
He kind of sighs, like, do all Martians talk this much?
No, you see, I am Silhuri, but you already knew that. And as a result, I am more skilled in matters of diplomacy. However, I pointed him, Thargan. Thargan is skilled, as I'm sure you are well aware, in other areas of Martian expertise. So, as long as we're being clear and we're sharing, yes, we're sharing. I recently had the experience of chopping up a Nazi right over there. Right there. You see, right there. Yes, right there. And while personally, I had no feeling about one with the other. It was not what I wished to do, but it was necessary. You understand, necessity. And do you know what we learned?
Do tell.
We learned that some Nazis are harder to kill than others. So, I thought deeply about this matter, and I took the time to, Jimmy, where are you, Jimmy?
Yes, Prince.
Did you get that acid that I asked about?
He kind of looks and then looks at the captain's like, I don't recall you asking for acid.
It is an oversight. I am so sorry, Jimmy. Could you procure for me 22 gallons of sulfuric acid in an acid-proof container large enough to contain a human body?
Jimmy looks at you, Captain.
Nod at him.
Okay.
And then have it delivered here. Thank you, Jimmy. I turned back to the Nazi. So I thought to myself, if I were a Martian thinking about ways to deal with recalcitrant humans who won't actually die when you want them to, what is the most effective means to ensure complete molecular decohesion? And I thought to myself, acid would work remarkably well. So I've decided that in the event that you're one of those Nazis, I would have a means by which to actually deal with you and give you the final rest to which you have clearly aspired to. Now that we have that matter out of the way, it also occurs to me that if you are one of those difficult to kill Nazis, we could torture you indefinitely. However, given that our doctor had to help you recover, it would appear that you're not one of those lucky ones. So, which means we'll have to endeavor to prolong your suffering. And when I say we, I mean me. So, are you sure you don't want to tell me something? Let's start with your name. Everyone has a name. What is it? Hans, Franz, wait, Dieter. Dieter? You look like a Dieter.
Would you like to touch my monkey?
He looks at you, continuing that stare. Like, the only thing I'm certain about is that the solar system would be a much better place. The entirety of Mars is under the German flag.
Wrong answer.
Ooh. I think you see Thargan kind of shift.
And
And so,
He notices that and kind of looks past you, and it's like, and there's nothing you and your fancy armor can do about it. Do you know how many of your kind have fallen before or were walkers?
yes, actually I do.
Good.
Specifically, 231,812.
And we're just getting started.
It is curious to me. You're going to great lengths to bait me. I think, Captain, he is baiting me, isn't he?
I believe he is. I don't.
It suggests that he has much to hide.
Yeah. But not from a man with your talents.
No, not at all. Bryce, I'm spending a story point. I am going to use, I guess, telepathy. That's what I'm going for. Or, you know what I really should do? I think what I might do, if I can get more mileage out of it, I might just go ahead and do hypnosis instead.
Yeah, let's see here.
Okay.
Telepathy, you'll be reading his mind, hypnosis.
What I really want to do is just use hypnosis to actually, let me see if I can actually use it for purposes of interrogation.
Yeah, as a psychic major trait, hypnosis allows for longer lasting, more effective suggestion, such lasts for numbers of days equals to the hypnotist resolve. It can be nearly anything, even something patently dangerous. The target can be made to attack allies, commit treason, divulge secrets, or anything short of committing suicide.
Yep, that's what I'm gonna do. All right, so this will require, what is this?
Let's see, you're going
Resolve
to...
Ingenuity. Okay, yeah, resolve plus ingenuity.
You get resolve plus ingenuity plus 2. It's resisted with resolve plus strength.
Okay. All right, so that is what I'm going to do. And I say, Dieter, I'm going to call you Dieter. I want you to do everything possible not to pay attention to this thing in my hand. And because I know human minds, the moment you say don't, that's all you can think
I
about.
think once you start doing that, Thargan does an about face. So
And I actually look over at the captain and say, Captain, perhaps you should stand on the other side of Thargan and face the same direction.
Sure.
Okay.
at which point the prince reveals his true self.
Tentacles and all. You. All right, so that is a 9, 11, 21.
All right, well, you rolled pretty good, but not quite good enough. So you actually kind of encounter a bit of resistance as your mind kind of goes in there. It's impressive for a human. It would seem that this human's had some training.
Yes. Yeah. Not good. Okay.
But you're able to push through it and finally hypnotize him to gain the control over it. It takes a little bit longer than you thought that it would. It's not quite just pushing someone out of the way and getting them on board with it, but you do get there.
All right. So I presume this takes a little bit of time.
Yeah, a little bit.
All right. How much time has elapsed by the time because I'm focused on this, I'm no longer paying attention to anything else. By the time it's
we're gonna say that it takes about a half hour.
Okay. All right.
So while he's doing that, Captain Thargan, he's working hard on this. You guys doing anything, or are you just staying out of the way?
Martian warrior mind are very susceptible to the hypnosis. I keep my eyes facing the other direction and just wait.
I do too.
Okay. All right. The end of the 30 minutes when I finally get this guy under, and I'm like, all right. Could I have your name?
My name is kind of this flat monotone, of course. My name is Maxwell Unger.
And Mr. Unger, your position within the Nazi hierarchy.
See, I don't have the German ranks, but he's gonna. So we're gonna Americanize it here a bit.
You can just generalize it. It doesn't.
Yeah.
Like,
I am a sergeant in the Deutsch Psychor.
You know what's really funny is I spelled Deutsche correctly. I will never spell it right again. It just flowed out of the pen. Okay. The Deutsche Psychor. Tell me about that. How many people are in it?
At this stage, we number approximately 1,500, but we are a relatively new branch of.
How many of the Psychor are actually psychically capable?
At this point, to my knowledge, there are only a dozen or so that are currently capable for and ready for frontline operations. There are many others still in testing and training and conversion.
Conversion. Am I to understand that they're finding these people anywhere they can in the world and then adapting them to Psychor's purposes?
Yes. In most humans, psychic abilities are incredibly latent, but we have found ways to enhance them, much like we found ways to make human physiology work with Martian warwalkers.
Oh my. Chilling. Okay. There was a thought in my head and I can't remember what it is. You said there are approximately how many are currently in training? That cat.
Think so. There are, to my knowledge, there are approximately 120 in training at various spots around the solar system.
I will need a list of all of the locations in the solar system.
I can give you the list of locations that I know of.
I'll take those.
All right.
Just like the old days.
Somebody does not like being ignored.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, it's great. Nice we're having this throwback moment as we approach our 7th anniversary here. That one's for the fans, right?
The cat is displeased with your storyline.
Once priest, which she's already had. So
All right. So he lists a location in German-controlled territory on Mars. He lists a location in Berlin.
Says Earth.
And he lists a location on. Let's see here. Yeah. Yeah, there it is. He mentions, for the other place that he knows, a Nazi base in the clouds of Jupiter itself.
Really?
Yeah, well, the upper levels of Jupiter's atmosphere are habitable in this universe. There are chunks of ground that are known as sky islands that form and disintegrate, so you can't really rely upon them. But most nations either have their own platforms or jointly associated with them with big floating platforms there in the on Jupiter.
Okay. All right. But those are the 3 that he knows about.
Those are the 3 that he knows about.
Okay. Does he know anything about the locations of Earth-based recruiting efforts?
Yes. We are established in a number of major cities across the globe, taking advantage of open borders and the ease of travel.
Okay. All right. And I'll need those cities.
So he lists of course, the 5 that you know here in the United States. Also, Mexico City.
Yeah.
Toronto. Paris. And let's see. London. Let's see. Rome. And I don't think they would have gotten into Russia. So that's where he knows they are right now. Oh wait, no, for that one, Madrid.
Okay. Yikes. All right.
We are currently expanding into South America. It is an untapped resource.
All right. Captain,
Yes.
do you wish to question this prisoner?
I think we got enough from him. Got
All right. I tell him that when I snap my fingers, you will sleep. You will remain asleep until you hear snapping of my fingers again. And I snap my fingers.
And he is out.
I turn to the captain. I don't know that there's a way to overstate the magnitude of the problem that you have right now. Actually, I guess we all have it. We will have to approach Mars. Mars has active psychics.
Sure. We can do that.
Did we record this session?
Yeah, I'm sure if there's audio recordings.
Okay, the reason why is because they are not going to take my word for it. Between the written report, this guy, and of course Earth is going to actually whoever the captain's going to turn them over to is going to want him, but Mars isn't going to take my word for it. But it is something that Mars can eminently easily verify. However, the level of secrecy that's going to have to be maintained is going to have to be fairly extraordinary. The more people you tell in government about this, and this is something that will engender a small amount of panic, I'm assuming. So the more people you tell, the greater the likelihood that they're going to become aware that there is a problem. And then they're going to either actively seek out where the information is coming from, or they're just going to disappear. But right now, we have a tactical advantage. Your thoughts, Kat?
We do, but you're proposing we don't tell the senator?
I don't know your friend. And as I said before, it would probably be best if he is examined psychically before you give him any information, because quite frankly, what I did to him, anyone could do to anyone else. Heck, even humans can do hypnosis. And I don't mean that in a disparaging way, it's just true. So that's kind of what I'm trying to suggest. This is a particularly insidious kind of threat for humans. Martians are relatively equipped, relatively speaking, to deal with this sort of thing, but humans aren't. And if one group gets it and the others don't have it, they pretty much don't stand a chance. Which means that the best way to pursue this would probably be to go to the Martians or the Europeans or the Venusians. Actually, everybody else is psychic to a greater or lesser degree. The Europeans are dangerous to even approach. The Venusians are rather standoffish and probably are not going to want to help, as they do not see themselves as involved. Martians, well, we are involved, whether we want to be or not. So your best bet lies there, though the other two should still be pursued.
They strive to take our homeland as well.
Yes, discreetly.
I get on the comm. Cora,
Yes, sir.
set a course towards Mars.
Can I get up to the cockpit first?
Yes.
Need you to do this from your bunk right now. She pulls out her game controller.
You don't just have the course plotter down there with you? Come on, what the hell?
Really? You can't do this with a ruler or a protractor and a map? I mean, come on.
It's on the control board.
You would have to take one of those nautical telescopes.
It's on the big telephone wire cord.
She has a sextant and a compass in her quarters.
There you go.
Hey, Noisy.
Well, things have gotten ugly in the solar system.
I don't know.
Who would have thought?
Yeah.
So scary.
Alrighty. Up to the cockpit. Where are we going again?
Get our asses to Mars.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure we'll be only staying there for 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
To arrest, try, and execute me. It shouldn't take more than a couple of weeks.
Right.
Most that would be me. That would be me slowly being digested by an animal until I am dead. So yeah, about 2 weeks. 3 of those will be for the arrest, the trial, and the sentencing. The other 11 days will be me being slowly digested. So yeah, no worries. It's 2 weeks.
I will not lay a hand on you while I still live.
Unless I'm busy questioning you, questioning that you're really who I think you are.
It's a fair question. Fritz has been strained lately. It's okay. It happens.
You were not acting very princely.
I'm not acting privileged enough.
Right. Wait,
I'll work on
when you started yelling at me, yep, that's the prince. Okay. Don't need to verify.
I will make an endeavor to always make sure that I feel very entitled and privileged.
You gave me an undeserved compliment without even thinking about it.
I know, right? I don't want you to start thinking I just generally respect your skills or anything.
I know. I mean, then there's chaos and no order.
I know, right? It's like, All right. So at whatever speed, apparently we're moving at pretty good speed. How long does it take us to get to Mars?
Well,
1930s sci-fi. It's a speed as fast as we want.
It's the speed of thought.
That's actually
The firecracker drive.
kick it up to Sparkler.
I love it. The best technology that Flash Gordon serials could possibly produce. It's amazing.
Indeed.
We're flying by string.
right.
Is that velvet with shiny things on it? yes, it is.
Don't worry about it. It's all good.
They're using the old Play-Doh boards.
Ships are.
Velvet with shiny things. It'll be fine.
It's like in Ed Wood, they just had those. They just glue plates together, paint them.
Pretty much.
It works.
So, yeah, it's going to take a little bit of time, but...
Well, maybe there's discussions or plot that needs to happen.
Oh, yeah, there's all sorts of stuff that'll wiggle in there, but I think given them the time, this is a pretty good place to pause for the evening.
Mm-hmm.
Yay. Okay. Coolness.
So as the solar star lifts off, screen kind of, does the fade to a point on its engine as it kicks into Sparkler Drive.
We've hit sparkles. Which is either a unicorn that was in the way or